Hello and welcome back. I'm your host Tom, and this is Beautiful Ashes, where I help you turn your gift or help your gift make room for you. And so, welcome back to yet another episode. We're still on the topic on discovering who your audience is, and like we said in the previous episode, the only way you can do this by actually discovering them is by their problems or by their pain points. That is how you actually know the people you're called to serve. Okay. Now you have to be able to share this kind of pain points, and I don't want to get into that because we already covered that in the previous episode. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend that you pause this video and actually go through the series on this episode called Discovering Your Audience. Okay, so that's it for this episode. So that's it for that kind of intro, not for this episode, but for that intro. As you can see, I'm still practicing here. That's why there's a lot of mistakes, and I'm doing this ad lib. That means I'm actually not reading from a script. I'm actually just talking it out. And so that's one of the things that I discovered. So the two different ways of actually doing YouTube videos. You can actually do it ad lib, that is freestyle. That's what we call freestyle, or you can actually read from a script. Now, I often found that doing it from a script doesn't work for me. I found myself looking at the screen, and it really doesn't work for me because you find sometimes you find you're going off or you're going on other ideas, and they're not actually what you intended to say in the first place, and then you just have to kind of cut and chop, and just too much work. And for now, I think the most important idea is actually just do it kind of ad lib, okay? That way I can improve how I talk and how I communicate. So let me know if you've seen if I'm making any kind of progress, any kind of positive progress below. Now, for this episode, we're talking about discovering your audience. And another way that you can actually discover your audience is through those. Now, remember those experts that I talked about in the previous episode about interviewing experts or listening to these experts who already published, already made it in the industry. Now, the good thing about doing something like that, let me see. Let me just adjust this for a bit. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Now, the great thing about these experts is they've already spent the time, they've already spent the money, they've already spent up the energy, and they've already gathered all these people together in one group or another. And so you find even the most popular people, especially when it comes to YouTube and whatnot, they already have a community of people where they gather together. The people who they call their audience. Some of them have them in their list, that is their they already have them on their email subscribers list. Some of them have them in Facebook groups. Some of them have them in Discord groups. Some of them have them in Telegram groups. And so they're all these kind of different places where they've kind of collected and gathered everyone together and put them in one kind of a bucket, one kind of a small, a small bucket whereby everything, that kind of phrase where it says, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, that's actually what they've done. And now in this case, not it doesn't have the bad implication to it, but has a much positive implication to it, especially when it comes to you as you're starting out. Because here's the thing: they've already done the hard work. They've already went out there. They've already gathered these people together, and they've done the hard work of actually putting them together in one place. Now, all you have to do is actually join it, and guess what? Now you're part of that community. You're part of that crowd, and you can actually interact with those people. Okay, and so that is like the cherry on top of the big cherry on top of the big cherry that's on top of your cake. That is the icing on your cake. Now, the beauty about this is, as you join those groups, what happens? It allows you to actually see the conversations that are happening in those groups. First of all, it allows you to actually connect with these people, so you can actually be able to see the different kinds of people. And sometimes you find that there are thousands of people in these groups. And so, guess what? You already have thousands of people who actually have the same problem that you do gathered together in one place. Okay, so if you're having a concert, then guess what? It's like all the people gathered together for that concert already in one place. All you have to do is actually perform. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. And the other thing it does, it allows you to actually see the conversation, especially when it comes to Facebook groups and Telegram groups that actually allow people to actually comment on them and actually post on them. Because what this does is, by actually comment, if you just start scrolling and actually just going through the group conversation, you start going through the group posts, you start going through the comment sections, and you find the threads that are there, what that has is actually shows you, and you can be able to actually get an idea of the problems that the guys are facing. And if you do that enough times, you actually be able to identify some of the patterns that keep cropping up. And so you might find when it comes to YouTube videos, people may say like, "Oh, I don't want to show myself. I don't want to show my face on camera." Okay, and so that you might find there's a problem. You might find people having this problem, this problem, this problem. Another problem you might discover is, "Hey, I think I'm too old to be on YouTube or to be on social media." Okay, that's another problem you might find on people. Another problem you might find is people they're like they're camera shy. But they don't know how to talk, they don't know how to communicate properly. Another problem is like you might find that they don't have a good camera. They think they need a good camera. They think they need a good phone. They think they need a good laptop. They think they need a video editing software. They think they need all these different kinds of things. And so as you go through the conversations, it will allow you to actually pinpoint the things that they're actually going through, and the things that actually their pains, their problems, their needs, their wants, their obstacles, their complaints, and all these things that they actually think or believe inside of their heads that is actually stopping them from actually making progress and from actually starting a YouTube channel and from actually beginning the publishing journey of actually creating content online. And what this does is actually shortens the learning curve that actually take for you, number one, to actually go and find these people, number two, to actually gather them together, and number three, to get them people actually engage in a community together whereby they can actually interact with each other. And so what these gurus have done, or these experts have done, is they've shortened that time that it will take you. And so all you have to do is remember early on, if you've been following this channel, some of the early episodes, I told you to actually find some of the experts in your niche and actually just follow them on social media. The reason why I told you that is because as you follow them, you actually discover number one of the things that you actually discover, that at one point or another they'll ask you to kind of join their group or their Facebook group or their school group or whatever kind of group, their Discord group or their Telegram group, whatever, they'll ask you to actually join these groups. And the reason for that is they actually want you to get somewhere together whereby they can actually unite you together and actually have a community around it. Now, there's a lot of benefit of this because it actually helps you, it gives you accountability and actually help you connect with other people, and you actually see that you're not by yourself. But the other benefit, especially when it comes to marketing, is actually helps you identify. You have this group of people who are congregated together, who are sharing and voicing out their concerns, their problems, their pains, their complaints, their needs, their wants, their frustrations, and their struggles. They're actually voicing them out in one central location whereby you don't have to go and scour the entire web. Because anyway, if you've done a Google search result, I'm sure you've done already and you've seen that there are like millions of results on any kind of topic. And so what this does is actually saves you a lot of time. And so it gives you speed, especially when it comes to being an entrepreneur. You know the value of speed when it comes to entrepreneurship. And so what this does, it actually cuts the time that it takes for you to actually discover these problems. It actually cuts the time it takes for you to actually discover these people. And all you have to do is actually leverage this group and actually slowly and surely just add value. And guess what, in time they're actually going to be drawn to you. And so in fact, most people are going to be watching this. You actually discover that some of the things that I've done to actually bring you people here is actually being able to participate in these kinds of groups. And so that's one of actually discovering who your audience is, finding who they are, finding out the problems that they're already having. And so that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Let me know how your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Yeah, that's it for this episode. Okay, see you on the next episode. Bye.